I am back with you again. I'm delighted and excited to be here with another Rent to Rent Rockstar. And I am pleased to introduce you today to Shari McLaren. Hey, Shari.
Hello.
Now, Shari has been joined the Rent to Rent Kickstarter coaching in May and already has 2 properties on board. And I know that you're going to find her story really inspiring, as I do. And we're going to talk about all the highs and lows, trials and tribulations about getting those first 2 deals. So over to you, Shari. Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
Good, good. So tell us a bit about you and what your situation was before Kickstarter.
Okay, so I'm 26 and I was working in sales full time before I did the Kickstarter course. I also had an e-commerce business as well, so selling online, but I knew I wanted to get into property, but I just wasn't really sure about how to get into it. So I was just looking around for different courses and I came across your website.
What made you decide to go on the course? Because it's obviously a commitment financially. So what made you think, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this?
Well, what I did was I looked at some of your YouTube videos at first, just to kind of see what you would talk about and what information you would give out about rent to rent and what resources you would provide. And I just kind of fell in love with your personality, with the information you were giving as well. Your delivery was really good. You came across as really genuine. So that's another reason why I wanted to sign up. And also because you were doing it in the UK, I thought what you'd be teaching would be very applicable.
What were you worried about before joining, or were you worried? I'm normally worried before.
I guess just doing it right, because I'm the kind of person who likes to have a structure to everything. I like to plan a lot. I'm the kind of person that when I'm planning for a holiday, I'll plan like every day. So having that structure is what I was missing, basically, and what I was really fearful of. Like, oh, what am I going to do next? What do I do if this happens or if something goes wrong over there? So yeah, it was having the structure, which is why I went for the course as well, because I needed it.
Right. Okay. So you decided to jump in May, and lots of people haven't been on an online course before. Had you been on an online course before?
No, and I wasn't really sure what to expect, to be honest, because I'm just so used to going to a place and being taught and then leaving, then being told, yeah, go and do it. So I wasn't sure what to expect, but it's been great.
Let's go into talking about how it started off. So the first thing that you do is setting up your business. Had you already done that beforehand, or how did you find that process?
So I had already set up a company with Companies House, so that was all fine. But I hadn't done things in terms of like getting a business bank account yet. I love how at the start of the course you talk about mindset as well and writing your goals down. So I hadn't really done that. So there was quite a lot that was missing from the business setup. So that's why I was appreciative for the course.
I was meaning after you set up the limited, and how long did it take you to do the rest of it once you joined?
Not long, maybe 2 weeks at most.
I love that it just took you 2 weeks, and that's what we find out is pretty typical. You know, some people can do it a bit quicker because they've already got some elements in place, but 2 weeks is pretty typical, and some people take a bit. But yeah, I think people are surprised how quickly you can get it done when you know what you need to do. So let's talk about the next thing, because that's the easy bit in a way, isn't it? You've got your business set up. What were you most worried about in terms of going after landlords and agents?
Just what would they think of me? Like, you know, I haven't been in property before. You know, do I have the answers to all of their questions? Am I coming across right? Am I coming across as too desperate, or am I not coming across as interested enough? Just basically, what are they going to think of me? Am I saying the right thing?
Yeah, that's a lovely way to put it. I hadn't even, you kind of forget some of the feelings that you had. So it's really good to hear somebody else say that you worry, what will people think of you, and kind of what do you think of yourself? So tell me about what strategy you decided to do first.
I decided to do the letters, probably because I was a bit too scared to get on the phone to agents. But yeah, I love designing things. So I love the idea of designing my own letter and yeah, just getting that out. And also that meant I could start practicing calling agents whilst the letters were being sent out and hopefully getting calls back as well.
Yeah, and tell us what happened.
I sent, I think it was 295.
295, okay. Nearest 300, we'll give it you. So you sent out 300 letters, including one to yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. And what was that like when you got it? When you got your...
Oh, it was amazing. It was a Wednesday, and I received it, and everything looked fine because I was worried about like formatting being wrong and all that stuff. And we actually got a call the same day. Actually, no, two calls the same day.
I remember this.
Yeah.
I remember this because you put it in the group and you were so excited. And I was like, oh my gosh. So tell us about that though, those calls and what happened. And
okay, so because I was at work, it was my business partner who actually took the call.
Would you come and say hi? Would you say hi on here or no?
He might if I encourage him.
yeah, encourage him.
But yeah, he picked up one of the calls, and it was a landlord who, I think they were working with a company who does like supported living or something like that. And he was interested in what we could do. And the other one, I think it was an agent who called, because we did send some letters to agents as well.
I know the bit that people love to talk about, because the bit that people love to be terrified of is the agent. So let's talk about that, because that was one of your fears as well. So talk us through how this thing happened, how you came to have a deal through an agent. What?
Okay, so I was looking on Rightmove, and I found a property. It was a 4-bedroom. And the pictures looked really, really nice in terms of its potential. So I decided to call the agent and was telling them about what I do. Although this agent was a bit different to normal ones because they're like an online one. So it's not Purple Bricks, but kind of like Purple Bricks, they're online. And they didn't really understand what I was talking about, really. But I said, could I book a viewing anyway? And they said, yeah, they'd be happy to arrange that for me. So I saw the house. And yeah, fell in love with it. I was like, yeah, I want this one. I want this one. And there were some other people viewing the house as well. And when I was about to leave, I said to the agent working on that day, what can I do to get this house to move forward with it? And I told him about what I do as well. He actually said that he does like some Airbnb stuff. So he kind of knew what I was talking about. And so I said, okay, what do I need to do next? And he said he'll pass my details on to the agent. So I called the next day because I didn't hear anything, and yeah, I was just ready to go. And they were saying, yeah, we'll get back to you, we'll get back to you. But they didn't really get back to me. But then before I knew it, the landlord actually approached me on Facebook.
How did he know to approach you? I don't understand.
So they must have passed my message on to the appropriate person in the agent, and they must have gotten in contact with the landlord to kind of ask, and then they must have given him my full name to find me on Facebook.
Oh, so the landlord's gone direct.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess it started with an agent but went to direct. Yeah,
okay. So the landlord approached you on Facebook. What happened next? Oh, actually, so this is a much easier one because now it's DTL, direct to landlord.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so tell me what happened.
So I remember his message. It kind of started off with, sorry to like contact you on Facebook, or it's a bit informal, but you know, I was hoping to have a conversation about the guaranteed rent that you can offer. It does sound very interesting. So I called him that night, and I was on the phone to him for like a good half an hour because he was asking so many questions. Like, I was surprised by how much because I was able to answer the questions.
Yeah, so give us an idea, give us a flavour, because I know people will be sitting here watching this thinking, what questions? What?
So I guess it was questions like, okay, what do you actually do? How do you know that this property is actually going to fit your criteria, is actually going to rent out? You know, what do you think of the location? How have you researched the area to make sure that the tenant demand is high enough? Like, he was going in deep. He was telling me a bit about his history with the property and how he was struggling to rent it out as a single let as well. What else was he asking me? Things like, oh, how are you going to be able to afford the rent and make sure that you can keep paying it? And I told him we have an investor. And he's saying, oh, okay, can you tell me a bit more about the investor in the background? And, you know, yeah, he was really making sure that he felt comfortable. But what was reassuring for me is that after I did answer all these questions, he said, yeah, I do feel reassured. And, you know, I feel a lot better about potentially moving forward with you.
You're a little bit faint again, Shari.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but that's a lovely story. And I tell you what, when I tell people that it's all about know, like, and trust, is know, like, and trust is higher than experience. I mean, if you've got both, it's ideal. But there's so many people getting their first deal. and you've obviously not got experience when you're getting your first deal, but that's where the know, like and trust is so, so important. And I say this and you can see that people are like, really? This does not sound right. I don't think this is going to work. But there's so many examples, because yesterday another one of the women in the group had got her first deal. She wants to announce it herself when she's actually signed the papers. She's only had it verbally agreed, so she's not announced it as yet. But it was the same scenario. It was the owner really wanted to work with her, really liked her. He had other offers. And I think it's the trust and the honesty. And sometimes people have been let down before, and that's why they've got all these deep questions to ask you. But no, I love that story. So taking it on from there, Shari, how did you feel?
I felt amazing, because I also had him on speaker. My business partner could hear what he was saying, and I was asking for feedback. I was like, how did I sound? Was I professional enough? And he said, yeah, absolutely fine. And I didn't know at the time that was actually going to be the first of other long calls with questions as well. So, I felt relieved. It's like, wow, I actually do have the knowledge to move forward with this, and I can actually do this.
Yeah, great. And is there anything that any tips that you would give to people who are maybe just starting up and thinking like you thought, oh my gosh, I don't know if I know what to say or what to do or whatever? Is there any tips that you would give people of how to be successful?
Well, one tip that was given to me was, if you don't really know the answer to a question that they ask, I would just say, oh, I'll need to speak with my business partner about that and get back to you.
Yeah.
That seemed to help. Or saying, oh, well, that's actually something I want to look into a bit more for you, to give you a more solid answer. If you just give me some time, then I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, and I think people really appreciate that, because they're so used to people bullshitting all the time. And that's a really refreshing change. And that's part of the know, like and trust, because you think, okay, this person's honest. She's not just going to give me any old answer. And people can kind of see through some of the answers, because sometimes you're dealing with people who are very experienced. Oftentimes people have been landlords for a long time. So yeah, I totally agree with that. And our motto really is always, you bring it from the heart. Yeah, it's your first time, but you're going to be putting your everything into this one property, and that's a bonus for the land. And also you've got the systems, you've got everything set up, you've got people, you've got resources. You're not just flailing in the wind working things out.
Because what I loved as well is that he knew it would be one of our first couple of deals. Like, he knew we were new to it, basically, because he had looked at because what the agent tried to do was, they actually tried to put him off going with us. Yeah, by saying things like, yeah, they've only been a company for a month or so, and, telling him all the bad things. But, I'm just glad he still moved forward with us, even though he knew we were new to it.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well, that I think people find it hard to believe. And I think I would find that hard to believe before having the experience of it ourselves and with so many other people. There's kind of nothing higher than honesty, is there, and knowing that the person who's got your property or your anything that you value, that you can trust them, and that you want to work with them, that you like them, that they're going to be a good partner for you. And it's the same from our point of view in choosing which landlords we work with. So we've talked a bit about the landlords, the agents, the landlords, and then you had this situation where you've now got this property, and then you've got your next parts. So tell us about that part, and how that felt when the landlord says,
wow, it was just like, I can actually do this. This is actually happening. We're actually gonna get these contracts signed, and I'm officially going to take over. It was really, really scary, but really exciting at the same time, because although you'd given me the next steps, still actually experiencing going through the next steps, that was going to be something else.
Yeah. Let's talk about, so the one you've just talked about was the agent and then direct to landlord. Yeah. And then let's have a little chat about the one that came through me. I'll just give a little introduction to this, which is that we've got the HMO Heaven website, which says that we manage properties in Newport in South Wales, which is what we do. But we also get quite a few inquiries on Facebook and through people who find us on Google and then maybe watch the YouTube or whatever, asking about whether we know of anybody in their area. And that's what happened in this case. So a man called up, and I thought it sounded really promising. And you take it up, Shari, and tell people what happened.
Okay, so because I'm in the group, I get notifications from Facebook, And I got a notification saying, oh, Stephanie's posted in the group. And I always look when Stephanie's posted. And I saw a post saying, oh, there's an opportunity in Northampton. Is anyone close by, or anyone think that they can take on a property in Northampton? And I noticed the post had been done like 30 minutes ago. I was like, oh gosh, have I missed it? I just thought of that Richard Branson quote, where he says, if there's an opportunity, still go for it, even though you might not have it all together. And send the email to you, and yeah, I got the details. And I think that was in the morning, because I called him as soon as I could, which was on my lunch break. And yeah, he was a really nice guy. He told me about the property and how it was being managed by an agent, but 3 out of 4 rooms hadn't been rented for the past couple of months. So he was considering the guaranteed rent. So yeah, it's working out fine.
That's brilliant. So over £800 a month, that is brilliant. So you've like entered in May, and here we are sitting, it's the 1st of August. So we've only had not even 3 full months then. We've had like a bit of May, June and July, and here we're at the 1st of August, and your first one is fully dressed and some tenants in. And once it's all, the rest is complete, you'll have over £800 a month cash flow. And is it 3 years or 5 years that you have? 5. And that was the other thing, you were nervous to ask for 5, weren't you?
Yes. Yeah.
You were nervous to ask for 5. You were nervous to ask for rent-free periods, weren't you?
Yep.
I remember that. That just came to me when I was asking about 3 or 5. So, sorry. And what, I know I've asked you this before, but I'm asking you again anyway. So what would you say, because I talked to quite a few people, obviously, and they're thinking about this, and maybe they're in a similar situation to yourself. They're working full time. They're thinking, I'd like to go into property, but I'm not sure if this is for me. What would you say, or what guidance would you give?
In terms of wanting to potentially getting into it?
Yeah. What steps could they, I mean, how did you get there? Because you were nervous or anxious, and you came through, and then a few months later you've done it. So how does somebody go from like being cautious and not thinking, I don't know if I would want to do this, is this the right thing for me, to like being successful in it?
I guess I did a lot of research and looked at, is the strategy something that I could potentially do? Also working on mindset as well. So although, yes, I'm nervous, I know I have a goal, and I want to achieve that goal. And I know I have to take action in order to achieve that goal. And from my research, it seems as though property is a vehicle that can, take me to my goal. So, I'm just going to do as much as I can. I don't want to be thinking, what if later on? So I just went for it, and I'm still going for it. Still nervous at times, but I just decided to go for it and see what happens.
Never goes away. That never goes away. That's such. Do you know what? You've got a lovely way of speaking. It's very inspirational, because I'm listening there thinking, oh yes. Yeah, but so much of it, and people sort of slightly roll their eyes sometimes when I say this, but 80% is not mindset. Because actually the things that you've got to do are simple, but people don't do them. Why don't they do them? Mindset is because some of the things are difficult, like rejection, because you've got 2 deals, but to get those 2 deals, you had to speak to lots of people. Well, actually, you didn't speak to that many, did you? Did you? Did you?
I did go to a lot of viewings.
You did go to a lot of viewings.
Yeah, a lot. But in terms of getting the deal, I guess I didn't really have to speak.
How many viewings did you go to?
Oh, loads. I think I was trying to go to like 10 in a week.
Right.
Especially working full time, that was quite difficult, but I was able to push for it.
Wow. I don't think we ever did that volume of viewings, but yeah, 10 in a week. That's crazy. I'm kudos. Well, I think that just shows as well that when you take the actions, you get the results. But it's where some people fall down is it's hard to keep taking the actions and when you're still getting no's.
Yeah.
But you can't get a yes until you get a yes. You have to go through all the no's. The yes is on the other side. But I didn't realize that you've been to that many viewings, so hats off even more. But you can see, if you're watching, that Shari's just amazing. But you're only amazing now because you started. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Amazing people don't always start. Like, I didn't start till I was 45 when I started this business, and it's like a tragedy, that is. So I encourage you. you know, yes, you can do it, but you just have to start. What's that line that you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. Such a cool, that's such a cool line. You're actually really reminding me of my sister this evening.
Really?
Yeah, you're looking very Nikki tonight. And is there anything else that you want to leave people with?
Other than take action and, you know, make sure your mindset is right, then not really, because yeah, if your mindset's not there, you're not gonna push for it, or when a hurdle does come along, you're not gonna keep going.
Yeah.
So, you know, I do hear a lot of people say, what is your why? What is your reason? So it's good to analyze that and think, is it actually strong enough to get me through the hurdles when they do come?
That's true.
And yeah, start.
That's true. I just want to encourage people, if you feel that your mindset isn't there, because it's a constant, mindset is a constant thing. If you're growing and you're trying to improve what you do, and you're putting yourself out there in different ways, you're always going to have fears and barriers and blocks. And so it's a continual thing to keep growing. So wherever you are right now is the perfect place for you to begin and just improve. So, you know, Shari is going to keep improving. I'm going to keep improving. We're going to be doing different things tomorrow, next week, next month, next year than we did today and yesterday. And so, yeah, I encourage you to do that. Get the Yes You Can plan. If you're thinking that this might be something for you, then underneath this video, we have got the 6-step system to get your first deal. And you can also watch the free online training, the 5 secrets to rent success, and start your own success story. And that's all totally free, and you'll see the link somewhere around this video. And I just want to thank you, Shari, for an inspiration, for being great fun to be around in the group. And I'm so proud, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I'm so proud of your success.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. You've just been such a great help, both you and Nikki as well, with the course and all the guidance that you give. You went far beyond my expectations, and yeah, I can't thank you enough for all the help you've given me.